Hello, my name is Joe Clems, and I am one of the owners of Real Life Counseling. I am the founding owner and also the CEO. I have the awesome privilege also to be a trauma therapist at Real Life Counseling, and I am certified in EMDR and working towards someday being more of a teacher. And with that being said, I wanted to talk a little bit about what is a container. You may be a therapist learning what a container is. You may be a client learning how to use a container. So what is it? Oftentimes when we are, as a therapist, when I'm working with a client and we are talking about or initially talking about their story, and this would be the hard parts of the story, the things that aren't often shared, the things that are hurting them, the things that are bringing them to see me. And that can be very activating. And by activating, what I mean is we start talking about their story and their bodies become tense or anxious or nauseous or upset, or there's a tightness to it. And their emotions are all over the place. They're anxious, they're scared, they're sad, they're depressed, they're full of shame or disgust. And so we have their emotions all over the place, their physical bodies are reacting, and their mind is reacting. All those beliefs that we learned about ourselves as a result of the trauma are now activated. And I don't want my clients to go away feeling that way. And so part of my role is to be able to teach my clients that they can be deregulated in my office or on Zoom, and I can show them how to re-regulate their minds and their bodies and their emotions before or after they leave. And then now they have a tool to use throughout the week. And so one of those tools, and we use many, and today we're just talking about the container. The container could be a visualized object that we put things in. And oftentimes my clients think of, the super safe. This is the Acme safe that we see in the old cartoons being dropped on someone. Now, we're not doing that, okay? Right? But what we are doing is we have this big secure object, box. Think big metal box with the big metal hinges. It has the big lock and the latch, right, that we turn to make sure that it's secure. And so only the combination is known by the client, so they can manipulate that. And they have this big latch that then they open this big old case up, and then there's shelves. And what I like to tell my clients, it could be like, well, if you're a little younger, you may have seen Harry Potter, and you can think of Hermione's bag, right? She had this bag and it was full of stuff for, like, they went on a huge camp out and there's tents and everything else in this bag, little purse, right? And so you can think of Hermione's bag, or if you're a little older like me, maybe you can think of Mary Poppins' bag. But the concept that I'm trying to tell you is there's this bag and it's infinite. So anything can go in it. It doesn't matter how big it is, right? How deep the hurt, how dark it is, how much we don't want anybody to see it. This is a secure place to put it. So we may talk about something in our session and it's 50 minutes or 90 minutes. We're not going to be able to resolve it in that session. So we put it in the box and we close it up and we secure it up and it is safe. But what happens if you remind it throughout the week? Because I think we all know we go see the counselor, right? We're thinking about all this stuff and we can put it away because the counselor does some amazing technique, at least we hope they do, right? In session, and we go away feeling a little better. But what happens when we have a bad dream or we're reminded of something, or that song comes on, or that smell comes on, or that thing is said, or that thought comes across our mind? What happens then? Well, we use a secure box. Some people, they're okay with opening the box back up, turning the lever, opening it up, and putting the new thing back in. Or if one of those things tried jumping out on us, we can still put it back in. So that's one way to think about this box. Another way to think about it is maybe there's a mail slot on the top, and we can put things in like we're dropping mail into it, okay? And so we put things in there, right? And it fills up throughout the week. And when you come and see the counselor, maybe it's me, right? We talk about what was in the box and I work it into the plan of what we're doing. So that's how we do it throughout the week. And it seems like, oh, I've been trying to hide from this stuff for years. How is this thing going to work? It's an intentional process. PTSD has a symptom called avoidance. And what avoidance is means that we're going to avoid, right, things that remind us of what happened to us, to the past experience, right? We're going to avoid the smells or the songs or the sayings or the people who look like the people that hurt us. We're going to avoid all those things, right? And so we're going to avoid the thoughts in our head, the images in our head, and we're going to try really hard to avoid those things. Right. So that's something that, right, we're trying to cure you of in session. So the box looks a little bit like avoidance, but remember, avoidance happens pretty naturally, sometimes without you even thinking of it. And so the container is an intentional coping tool that I'm teaching you how to use. Now, how does that differ from what's called like a dissociative process, where that dissociative process is your mind, which is natural, right? It's a natural ability of your mind to say that something bad is happening and I need to check out a little bit, right? Because it's too overwhelming for the mind and body to experience that, so it checks out. The problem with a dissociative process that over time, your body thinks, well, anytime something resembles that bad thing, I'm going to check out. So then you start missing large chunks of your day, or you're unable to feel parts of your body, because we know that, right, anxiety has an interaction with our body. And so your body does a really good job of blocking out the emotion and blocking out the physical sensation. That's that dissociative process. Okay. And so part of our work is we're not doing the dissociative process. We're not doing the avoidance. We're going to do this intentional thing of taking the bad thing. We're going to acknowledge that it's there. We're not going to check out the dissociative process, or we're not going to pretend like it doesn't exist, the avoidance process. And we're going to put it in the box. And then we're going to tell Joe, me, or whoever your therapist is about it when we come back into session. And that's how we use the container. My hope is that you will use this. My hope is that you will email me and ask me how to use it. My hope is that you will Google it, because there's other YouTube videos about this. There's other documents about this. There's some research about this. And it's an amazing process that can be used not just for an EMDR method, but for any counseling technique. It can be integrated in and used as a tool. Hey, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.